9/11 got me into the military. I was sitting at home right before school, and I saw the first building, then I saw the second building, went to school, and I really understood just how big of an impact that made on people. So my name is Dan Schmink. I'm the founder of the Southwest Healing Group here in Phoenix, Arizona. I served in the 2nd Brigade, 189 Cavalry out of Fort Drum, New York. I was 10th Mountain, and I was all hua. We kicked indoors, flew out of helicopters, got to play with C4. We were jack of all trades, frontline scouts. You know, I have aches and pains. My spine pops from base to top every day, so this helps me get through everything. Back then, I was doing a lot of blogging for various dispensaries, and I was just following along, reading, writing, sharing the story, and I was drawn to her efforts. You know, a lot of people say things, but it's very few that actually do. And that's what really attracted me to what Sue is doing, is she has been there, she's been continually pushing this message forward.
In the world of medicine, having predictable treatment outcomes is essential, right? Patients have to know that what they take is the same thing each time and that they have a predictable result. We were so lucky to have such articulate spokespeople like Dan who were willing to step out of the shadows and talk so openly about their experience with cannabis. Dan is a perfect example of, you know, some of the most high-functioning veterans in our community. He's not sedated or obtunded. He's alert and logical and high-functioning.
Why is a medicine termed a medicine? Because no matter what, let's say I get it over here, I get it over there, it's going to be the same thing every single time. With cannabis right now, we have one strain that can be grown and have 50, 60, 70 different types of that strain, right? So by finding the actual methodology and how it affects our brain structure with the individual components, we get to actually look at why standardization and regulation is so important. Because once you understand the components and how they affect the body, then you can start organizing them for an intended effect.
The lighting, the humidity, the other, you know, monitoring parameters that ensure that the nutrients are precisely delivered in the right ratios, and all of those things need to work together, you know, consistently in order to be able to create that sort of perfect standardized medicine, and that's what we all desperately are seeking.
To be honest, it's the patients, and I know everybody will say that, but just gave me goosebumps just thinking about it. We serve a unique community because we're the only one, I think, in the nation that has a city that's just for 55 or older, and they really have the right full spectrum of ailments. I saw we have a lady that come in and got her driver's license back off after she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and now she's off all of her Alzheimer's drugs and driving, and the freedom that gave her is just incredible. And we tell our patients, this is another thing I can do on my end, is just tell our patients, tell your doctor, just be open. And then they're starting to catch on. They're like, are you kidding me? My drugs that I'm prescribing you didn't work, but that did, and now you're driving again. Keep doing it. That's what we're seeing. We're seeing a lot of people say, keep doing what you're doing.
Really, I don't even consider myself pro-cannabis. I'm just pro-science. I really care about collecting objective data and putting that into the public domain. I've done clinical trials for years with big pharma, and it was really depressing to see the way pharma suppresses data that might make their drug look unfavorable, and that's why I'm proud to be part of you know, a study where we guarantee that we are publishing all of the data, the good and the bad of cannabis will all be put in the public domain for everyone to scrutinize. I think that's the only right, ethical way of doing it. So we're gonna be walking through the cultivation site, and this is a place where, you know, someday we'd like to buy a study drug from this environment, but unfortunately we're stuck purchasing cannabis from the federal government instead. So we're going to tour this facility and get a sense of how they make, you know, real medicine for real patients, for the most sick and debilitated patients in our state. And yeah, and then we'll come back here and talk to a patient who's already using. We've had a long struggle trying to get this study underway, and through this process we were actually terminated from the University of Arizona College of Medicine, where I was on faculty at the medical school for many years, and we were lucky to come in contact with Heliospectra. These folks were dedicated to science. They care about collecting objective data on how to improve the process of plant cultivation, not just in the cannabis arena, but across all agricultural sectors. I was really interested in the idea of cannabis as a medicine, but I really didn't know anything about the plant. I only knew how humans, how patients were telling me the plant was affecting them, but I knew nothing about plant biology or the plant life cycle. And so through my work with Heliospectra, I gained a deep and abiding appreciation for this plant, the complexity of the plant. Their lighting is really unique. It's a technology that's truly innovative. There are a lot of LED companies on the market, but I don't think any of them rise to this level where you have complete control of the light spectrum. So you can actually develop these kind of unique light recipes for each different phenotype. So for growers, to be able to have that kind of control over the cultivation process is a whole new experience for them. They've never had that kind of mechanism before, and finally the technology is out there. So I think that Heliospectra is going to have a very bright future because they're basing their technology on science. They invest a lot of money into R&D to try to constantly improve what they're doing and fine-tune the software in order to make it even more compelling for growers. So I think they're on the right track, and I've been always very honored to partner with them.
You don't go to work and be upset. You know, it's a place where you can just enjoy and be proud of everything that you're doing, because it's medicine and something that we're freeing the world with. So terpenes are the essential part that makes it smell, makes it have that flavor, and that's important because that's what allows the THC molecule to actually access through the blood-brain barrier to get to our CB1 receptors. So it's really important that we have that we stabilize that, and that we're actually reintroducing it to our extracts, because that it loses it in the process. Actually, what we're going to start seeing is us be able to take out each individual piece and formulate an actual strain specific for epilepsy. These actual flavonoids and terpenes and this percentage of CBD, THC is for you, and this is what we're hopefully going to be able to achieve here soon. It's going to happen. I saw her do an interview on I forget what, one of the news, I think maybe it was Horizons, and that she has a study, and the power that she had because she really wanted to help these patients was intense. She really wanted to study this plant, and I wanted to study this plant. I knew that this person's going to get it done, and she really has.
We're like kindred spirits, man. We both care about this.
She's so important to the industry right now. So.
Yeah.
And validating what we're doing. What she does validates everything we're doing and what you're going to see in here. So in here is our bedroom.
These look so healthy, man. You have done such a good job. These look terrific. This mother looks pretty healthy, man. Yeah. Which strain is this?
This is going to be...
Oh, good. That's my mom's favorite. She'll be so happy that you're taking good care of her mother. And this is the material that patients are juicing?
Yeah, so they'll take these leaves and they'll basically wash them off, and then they'll put them through a juicing process, and then it will get all the nutrients. There's so many nutrients. This is considered one of those superfoods.
Yes. So this
is our pride and joy. This is where the flowers come out, and you can like smell and see what they become.
I love the way you take care of these plants like they're your children.
They are.
And this is the way, I think that's what Heliospectra lamps offer, is the ability to create these like light recipes so that you can have that exquisite control over the light spectrum and give your children what they need.
what that allows you to do with the plant is actually give you consistency. So if you're able to control it perfectly every time, it's going to be consistent every time. And when you have a patient that actually needs that consistency and she's looking for something at 20% and your next time she gets it, it's at 10%, that's half of what she's used to.
That's right.
You can't do that to patients.
That's right.